People are always saying, why don't you go into politics? Are you joking? They'd have me gaffer taped, sat up back benches, cuffed at green leather seats. I won't be able to keep my gob shut, but I'd be like that. No thanks. I don't want to be a politician. I see it as a murky world full of dodgy people. I don't want to be among it. I think it must be soul destroying if you're half decent. Because they're all so weird. They're like people who want to be famous but weren't quite nice looking enough to get in the movies. That's how I see them. And the new ones that are coming through from the small parties, they're just trying to make a difference. They're just you and me, them. They're not part of this idiotic clan of lunatics that bring out legislation. I mean, who thought about standing up in a pub? You stand up in a pub, you keep your mask on. Sit down, you can take it off. Oh yeah, it only goes that eye. It only goes that eye, just COVID. And when you look at some memes that Elon Musk is putting out on Twitter, belters completely dissing the rules and regulations that they made up, like, I think what we'll do, let's do social distancing. Now, anybody with half a bloody brain knows if, in winter time, if we were going to people's houses for like dinner or something, and someone's got a cold, I'd cock off, I won't go. No, sod off, you're not that good a cook, I want to catch your bugs. Social distancing, that's just normal if you play your cards right in life. And we're geared up to fight off infections and disease. And then when I look at all the other ludicrous things, HS2, I mean, come on. So a businessman can get to Birmingham 20 minutes earlier. Get out of bed. Get up a bit earlier. Catch the earlier train. Why should we have billions and billions? It's like a wealth transfer scheme to me. How to take stuff out the tax system and then spend it on big builders and tunnellers and people who happen to be Tory backers. And then you've got all your big supermarkets who were coining it in during lockdown, absolutely coining it in, and they wanted to stay in the EU. Why? Why did they want to stay in? Oh, that's right, free movement of cheap labour, because the European Union have kept British wages artificially low for over 10 years. And then they'll tell you that you need the European Union for workers' rights, do you? Do you really? Have you seen what's happened to employment market since we've had all this legislation about paternity leave and extensions and rights, and it's going even worse because men can have babies now. They're going to be taking time off while they don't have a baby. What's been one of the biggest growth areas this last 10 years, 15 years probably? Employment agencies. Do you know why? Because people are too afraid to employ people directly because of what rights they've got. So they'd rather pay more per hour to an agent and not have to get involved with the individual. Labour, for the working class, yeah, of course they are. That's why you actually employed 0 hours contracts within the party. You couldn't make it up. And yet we can't have nurses and doctors, but we can have a diversity manager on 80 grand a year to make sure people of the right coloured skin get the job. I just want someone who can do it. I mean, believe me, if someone's doing a knee operation on me and they've got my wound open, I don't really give a toss what colour they are, do you? I don't care if they can't speak English, as long as they can do the operation. Diversity, what's that about? It's all falling to pieces anyway, because even in Silicon Valley, they're all going quiet about it, but it's actually panning out that it's not been one of the better decisions, this, employing people because the face fits rather than the ability to do the job. We should be a meritocracy, on merit. We should employ people on merit. Can you do the job? Don't care what your background is, your religion, your sex. I don't care who you're having it off with at the weekend, as long as you're not fiddling with kids and animals. Can you do the job? That's how we should employ people. And coming from an era where we were sent out to work, I mean, I don't mean up a chimney. I don't mean I'm coming down, sweep your chimneys, governor, with little black face, with soot, and little brush, big flat cap on. I mean, I'm from the generation where you didn't, at my school, there were only 8 people stayed at sixth form. Sixth form were like a ghost town. There was only 8 people in it. And we left at 16 and went and got jobs and coughed our wages up. And when you've lived in a terraced house where your mum's had to shuffle bills, there used to be behind clock, and then she'd get one out, the ones you were going to pay because the other 3 would have to get put to one side, or hiding behind settee because you're dodging bloody coal man, and nipping to the bottom of the yard for a pee middle at night when you're only a kid and you're desperate. and you're scurrying out bottom of your yard. There's a little oil lamp. You won't remember. There used to be a little oil lamp to stop pipes from freezing, and a geyser in the kitchen for hot water. No thanks. I don't want to go back to that. I loved my mum and dad, and I loved my upbringing. I liked the fact that I was loved. But I don't want to go back to the poverty end. I don't want to repeat that. But then again, I didn't say everybody had dementia, did you? There were one woman, Alice the Nutter we called her, who went off her head in our street. And we used to call her Alice the Nutter because she was the only nutter we knew. And it was probably dementia. We were only kids. We were horrible. We used to play skipping and stuff outside her house. And she'd come up and she'd have like her underwear on over her frock. And we were told, all kids were told, if you see Alice out and she's got her underwear on over her frock, come and tell me. So you'd have to run into your mum and go, Mum, Alice the Nutter's out. Don't call her that. Don't call her that. And then someone would go up and help her because everybody helped each other then. You didn't have counsellors, do you remember that? You didn't have counsellors. You'd go to a family member or a neighbour who seemed to be a bit smarter than the rest. It was my mother in our street. I used to walk in our house sometimes and my mum would be sat there with somebody pouring their heart out over something, and she'd just look at me and she'd go and put kettle on. So I'd have to walk past and go and put the kettle on and then make them a cup of tea and bugger off out again. While my mother did what I suppose these days would be termed as counselling. And, you didn't... there were not loads of cancer. Where the hell's that come from? 1 in 3 are going to get it. I think 1 in 3, they're going to make sure we get it, the way they bloody behave. You look at what's going on in the world. I never thought I'd live through anything like this. So, in a way, I think that politicians are part, if not the whole problem. The politicians and the media, we're not letting them off the hook because they've been dreadful this last 4 years. And what about those TV doctors? All they're telling you to go and get one in the arm. Go and do it, go and do it. And then you find out they're getting bloody payments from the people making the drug. Oh, not for the drug, but you get 30 grand off a drug company, as well as your wage, as well as for your TV appearances. Cha-ching. It's not a bad earner, is it? Well, you're there going to a bloody foundry and working on tills at Asda, cleaning. The trouble is, there's nothing wrong with the country. It's just the people in charge of all our resources are the wrong people. They're in the wrong hands. It's pouring down. It's freezing cold. Why do we run short of water in this country in the summer, in the south? Why do they have hosepipe dams? Because nobody's building facilities to store it when it's coming down free from the sky. What rivers? Why will it run down rivers and fields and out into the sea? What is that about? When you think in Tenerife, you've got desalination plants because it's a dry, arid place, and they need that for the domestic water, for washing machines and for toilets, and they drink bottled water. They can manage. You don't hear any water shortages in Tenerife. They've got golf courses to irrigate. And the other thing that gets me, it's just a general rant, I suppose, but the other thing that gets me, they talk about us and our carbon footprint, yet you've got ski slopes in the desert in Arab countries. And you've got racing tracks that need to be kept cool, that have air conditioning, and tracks that are cooled. Oh yeah, we can all fly out to Formula One races and spend billions on these kind of things in Arab countries that are completely unsuitable, and yet we haven't to fly to Benidorm because your trip to Benidorm twice a year is gonna burn the planet into an inferno. Please, the biggest scam I've ever seen is this, global boiling. It's, what is it now, 10th of June, something like that? And I've still got a scarf on. I should be in summer tops. Crocs with socks. It's not where I want to be in the middle of June. But this is just a general rant so that you get used to what I'm about as a person, because I'm new to YouTube. But I do look at the thread and I do respond. And that's the difference between me and the copycat, because he doesn't. And he isn't interested in what you've got to say. But how do we find out what's happening in the nation if we don't listen to the nation? Because that's where the politicians go wrong. Now, fortunately, I feed back to Nigel Farage. And I feed back to other people that I think are bothered about us. And I've got good contacts, like economists, like Catherine McBride and Ben Habib, who's a thoroughly decent bloke. And standing as an MP for Wellingborough, give him a chance. If you want conservatism, give him a chance. So I try and share this, whatever it is that I've built up, Not for money, but because it's helped me make better decisions with better knowledge. And so if I share that, you can too. That's all it's about.